advantage, slight reach advantage. But 8-3 plays 16-3. Roberto Soldic to me has the map on his side. Notwithstanding the fact that, as I said, this man is an absolute danger to shipping.
I think Michał Pietrzak's got to get this one down to the ground quick. Fight on the outside, set up the takedown with intelligent pressure. Soldic, be prepared for a boring few minutes, get the counter game going, make Pietrzak walk into something. And of course, it's the rear tools. He fights southpaw, so it's that left hand or that left kick.
There's something inviting about the style of Pietrzak. He's almost willing Soldic on to bring in that big left hand. Southpaw, of course, Soldic. And is he asking him to deliver that shot? He's just done it now. He's had a first little taste. Side thrust kick. We don't see that as often as I'd like. And Roberto Soldic just took up on the invitation. Kind of regretted it halfway.
Smart stuff here from Soldic. He's staying a good step and a half or two out. There comes the left.
Well, he takes some good work back there from Pietrzak and throws in a lot of hench behind those kicks, Soldic. Needs to have a care. He doesn't want to rush in. He was told by his camp, you know, in previous outings not to look for a quick knockout early. But he is a heavy hitter. And once those hands hit, he really does hurt. But he's been invited in, and this is Pietrzak's world.
What commitment to the takedown. He's a world-class wrestler. Deep underhook there on the right. Soldic did go down to the canvas momentarily, but then popped right back up. Let's see what Pietrzak can do off the wire here. Short knees, I think, could open something for him.
Oh, they're thumping great big knees. Soldic doesn't like it. Tries to stop that work going on there. Pietrzak in a good place here. Soldic tried to put too much weight on the shots early on, didn't he? Just looked maybe to finish it too quickly, make a statement. You know, you've stepped up to do this. Tries a little hip throw, but there's a little bit of damage to the right eye of Pietrzak. Soldic now has that look in his eye, and that's the look of a man possessed. He really does go to town with this. This is going to be a festival of fury if Soldic has his own way here. So, a firefight in prospect now between these two.
Two things. Soldic definitely just cracked him with that left, and prior to that, used the clinch very neatly to fake the throw and then push his way back out. He went one way and then went backwards. Oh man, he's swinging for the fences here, Will.
Absolutely, they're too big the shot. Soldic needs to calm himself down and go back to some solid work. He's allowing Pietrzak in, and Pietrzak taking advantage, and there's the up and over, and down he goes. What an upset here. Soldic though, back up. Well, up and down like a stripper's booty, dare I say it. Soldic here tonight, and that wasn't on the card. And there's a look about Soldic now, which is, hang on a second, this guy's come to do business.
Pietrzak is looking to breathe here. But the thing is, you can't freeze in front of the RoboCop. He's way too accurate from the outside. That's the mistake that Kajabowski, amongst others, have made. And Kajabowski was billed as a striker going into this, who promised to stand. I don't think Pietrzak wants to do that. You got to give credit where credit is due, though. Once he's had that takedown, once he's had a hold of him, he's been super committed. The reshot's been there. He's tried to make the most of it, but you also got to give credit to Soldic. He's been able to get back up twice. Ooh, listen to that kick. You cannot get lazy with the strikes against a wrestler with the skill sets that Pietrzak brings to this. I have to say, Pietrzak looks more and more confident here, and Soldic having to kind of revert to a plan B here. It wasn't going to be all over in the first round. There's a minute and a half left in this first. He may have to take his time and do a little bit more work. And that left hand of Pietrzak constantly working, constantly causing problems. And Soldic just really wants to get in there and do some damage quick. Those hands are heavy and they're hard, and he's landed the left there, straight in and straight out. A shorter, more accurate shot. Nice straight left there. He was wheeling for the uppercut and then went straight. I like the fact that Soldic is putting the pressure on Pietrzak, trying to punish those takedown attempts, but he doesn't want to get too overzealous here. Yeah, this is still early doors for Soldic against this guy. He's dangerous, and you know, I think Soldic has realised that. Thought within the first half a minute it would be easy, and that's a nice defence from that single leg takedown from an easy shot, the spinning back fist, but it caught him off balance, and now Pietrzak has him in his office. This is the thing, he's just got such a great chain wrestling attack. Look at that, gets the ankle pick, ties the legs up, Soldic explodes.
Back up, he doesn't want to live there, like I said, up and down like a stripper's booty. Soldic doesn't want to live there. Well, it's all going on the inside here. We've got 10 seconds going. Mark Goddard just calling to the corners to stay out. We're on the bell now. What an interesting first round.
Very compelling first round. Pietrzak had a couple of good opportunities. Soldic had several good opportunities. Both guys were able to kind of get their game going. We thought about the fact that this could be a kind of more traditional striker versus grappler matchup. That's the way it's playing out.
Pietrzak has come to this. He's seen the tales of the tape. He's done his homework. This is joined up fighting. You've got to hand it to Pietrzak. He really has brought the action here. Soldic, well, I don't know whether he thought this was a cake to be bought. I don't know whether he thought this was going to be an easy day in the office, but he's working hard here tonight. Look at some of the action, though. He's landed some shots.
Got to give some credit to Pietrzak. He took some very clean shots. But that's the thing, when Soldic is overstepping here and getting in a little bit too close, he's giving the opportunity to Pietrzak to get a hold of him and do just this. Soldic is super experienced here. I mean, he's just got that classic wrestling for MMA to use it for the takedown defense. The moment he goes down, he just explodes straight off like a bouncing ball.
Well, you know, once that was a good bit of squill. Twice it was rude to have caused problems for Soldic like that on the wire. Well, Soldic needs to maybe go to plan B in the second round. Scheduled for 3 5-minute KSW MMA rounds. Well, we've got a striker versus a grappler. Roberto Soldic, Michał Pietrzak.
I liked the kick to the body there from Soldic, but he needs to set that up because for sure Pietrzak will take one to get a hold. He's proven that several times. Now, the thing is, how long can you last in the face of the heavy artillery of Soldic? That remains to be seen, but thus far he's passed several tests, for sure.
This is a really interesting technique Pietrzak has. He works that left hand. He doesn't do anything with it. He's just spoiling you. The constant movement is all kind of mesmeric. It's Cobra-like because Soldic is just matching it and unable to get his own shots off. Pietrzak has got very, very good counter moves going on here, and the strategy's nice.
Nice dig to the body from Soldic with that kick. I also like the fact that he's really more prepared now for the kick catch from Pietrzak. Kind of twists his leg and then whips it away, spinning around. He's very, very well trained and very well schooled. I mean, we're talking about a guy who's been training with GSP over in TriStar, so the caliber of training he's had at TriStar, of course, alongside his UFD teammates, has been world class. But he's dealing with a world-class wrestler. Pietrzak lost by, I believe, 1 point against Damian Janikowski, so that gives you the kind of credibility in his wrestling resume.
Absolutely, and of course he's got much more cage experience and fight experience. But that left hand of his is not stopped working, and it's causing a problem for Soldic. Soldic likes people to stand off and just be ready for him to drop bombs, and Pietrzak is not allowing that. Look, that left hand is working, and he's coming in on the back of a right hand himself. He's dropped his guard against Roberto Soldic. What is going on here?
Soldic just looking for that knockout shot. For sure, Pietrzak is tired, but...
Well, we thought this was going to be a bit of a ground zero event in terms of Soldic coming in and landing some shots here. We're halfway through the second round. Yeah, Pietrzak is blowing a bit. And that really is a dangerous sign because you don't want to show any weakness, but although he's blowing, he's still knocking the strikes back out and landing right hands on Soldic.
The thing is, though, he hasn't been able to get that true wrestling game going. I mean, he's so good at pinning you and passing the guard, just putting all kinds of pressure. Soldic has not accepted the takedown at this point, and that's been a defining factor of the fight, despite putting himself in some compromising positions by overstepping or being a little bit over-anxious.
Soldic does not like this one bit, does he?
No.
He does not look like this one bit.
He wants out of there.
Yeah, his face looks like he's licked Mr. T's armpit. He does not like this at all. He wants to knock this guy out. Get this guy in front of me so I can bang him down. But listen to the crowd here tonight because he's not playing ball, Pietrzak. Pietrzak is standing and trading with the ultimate KO artist. And Soldic now really has to go and put a shift in. And it could be we're entering dangerous territory. 3/4 of the way through this second round. And Pietrzak is blowing a bit. And you show Soldic an inch. And that's what happened. Soldic he wants a clean finish. Pietrzak in trouble there. Well, the danger of the rocks has passed, but he's still tied to the mast, Pietrzak. Really? Is this a shipwreck on its way down? Or is Pietrzak still in this? Got just over a minute left in the second.
He may have a lifeboat left, Will. I'm telling you, that was a desperation takedown, but he's back on his feet. I mean, he has proven to be so durable. I mean, he's clearly a world-class athlete, and that's transitioned to the way that he's gone into MMA from wrestling. But he has eaten some seriously heavy shots so far from Soldic. Popping jab to a left. This is bad. Soldic can put the pressure on here. He can finish this fight.
Yeah, Soldic senses he can finish this cleanly. And he's looking for the ultimate aesthetic shot. He wants this to be clean. He doesn't want it to be scrappy. But still, Pietrzak, that left hand coming away like a lion's paw, causing problems. There's a big left hand there from Soldic. I have to say, Pietrzak got a chin like Mount Rushmore.
I cannot believe the level of punishment that he has soaked up throughout these last 2 rounds. It looks like he might have a little bit of a cut over the right eye. Soldic's gonna go for one more big one here.
Well, there's the bell at the end of the second.
Wow.
And yeah, I think the writing's on the wall here. And I think that Soldic realized in the last third of that bout, decided to take the pressure off, looking for an aesthetic finish here, knows that it could get scrappy so early on, but in the third, he might be able to execute this, and, you know, that aesthetic is so important to Soldic as a finisher.
Definitely, and you know, I've got to give a lot of credit to Pietrzak. He is such a strong guy in those grappling positions. I mean, I've watched some of his early fights. One of them was so memorable, he caught a grappling position and literally front headlocked the guy, threw him over his back and put him out cold. So a lot of credit to Soldic to be able to stand with confidence here in these trades and nullify the takedown. Look at that, Soldic just digs through the underhook and just pushes away. The left hand has been the major factor in this fight. I'd like to see him go for a head kick. I mean, yeah, he's finding headspace with these punches, but he hasn't been able to put Pietrzak out of there just yet. Mix it up a little bit, maybe go for some knees or some high kicks, I think would be smart.
Third and final round. Roberto Soldic, the Robocop, takes on Michał Pietrzak, the grappler, the wrestler, the serial strangler, the man who is still in front of him against all the odds. Took this fight at short notice. Now, will Soldic go Rambo here and all out to finish this in the third? That side oblique kick causing problems, and the left hand still clubbing away there like a little tiger cub, causing problems for Soldic. Soldic is almost mesmerized by it. And, well, Pietrzak has got some more gas in the tank. Whether he's got another 5 minutes worth, I don't know. But it's the third and final round. Chris, how do you think this is going to go? Do you think Pietrzak can survive?
You know, I wouldn't have thought that we would be this far into this fight with the kind of significant strikes that Soldic has landed. But hey, I've been wrong several times tonight.
But hey, man, you're putting it out there, and so have I, and it's been so hard to call. I'm looking at Pietrzak, and I wouldn't say he looked lemon fresh, but there's definitely some more gas in the tank. I think he might survive. But that's never a good thing to say about a fighter. Listen, you know, you're looking for him to win, but it is Roberto Soldic. Well, there's a lot of moving parts in that ring there, and Soldic hasn't been that creative, if I'm honest with you. He's not in there painting the Sistine Chapel, is he? He's painting the garden fence. You know, it's meat and 2 veg, kicks and punches and what have you. You'd expect more from him, more in the arsenal, maybe a tapestry, a smorgasbord of something different. All he's looking to do is put this guy away. But like I say, the round is young.
Yeah, I completely agree with that assessment. He's kind of just been turning the bulldozer on and trying to go straight down the middle, and I think that that can work. But Pietrzak has weathered the storm. So 10 minutes in, I mean, I want to see him kind of stick and move a little bit more, set up those kicks. The patience is important. I think that's been a good thing in this fight. The takedown defense has also been completely on point. But Pietrzak is a tough, tough guy.
You know, there's an old thing in theatre, especially in pantomime. Oh, yes, he did. Oh, no, he didn't. Oh, yes, he did. Oh, no, he didn't. Oh, no, he didn't. And Roberto Soldic is coming with the same thing every time. And after twice, you'd think that would be the switch-up. You know, but everyone that fights Soldic knows he's coming to tuck them away. And Pietrzak has not allowed him to do that. I mean, that's the skill here tonight. You know, and I've often said that, you know, you can come in with big guns, you can come in with big quads, but the most important muscle in a fight is between your ears. And Pietrzak, for what it's worth, has flexed that tonight. A little bit of brain power has gone into this because Soldic cannot put him away. And I think this left hand is causing all kinds of problems for Soldic.
I also have to say that Pietrzak has a heck of a chin too, so you can talk about the muscle memory, but there's also more to that equation. Soldic is definitely throwing some great shots, and you got to give credit to him as well for backing off and realizing he's ahead in this fight, not making any major mistakes. I mean, the worst thing he could do at this point would be to concede position by being reckless.
We are halfway through the third and final round. Roberto Soldic hasn't landed a punch here. I mean, we came to this bout and I was more excited than my wedding night. And I'm looking at this now and it's just very, very scrappy. Soldic petrified at going to the mat there. And I think his corner have just said to him, you've done enough now, just keep out of trouble. And I don't think Soldic is going to expose himself.
I think it's smart though. You've got to have enough.
Kurwa, zasięg mi się zgubił.
To deal with that kind of explosive takedown power. So Soldic is fighting intelligently in a sense that he's won the rounds, he's been dominant in this fight, and he'll be happy to walk away after having accepted a very risky opponent. On 4 days' notice, I might add. Yeah.
Well, the champion winding down the clock here, realizing he probably can't do what it is that he does. And that's a psychological exposure to any future opponents. A little bit of desperation with the spinning back fist. And look at Pietrzak teeing up Soldic. Pietrzak putting that left hand on Soldic's forehead to land the right. What a turn of events here. Soldic needs to wake up and smell the coffee. Buckle up, funsters. We could be in for a real upset here tonight. Well, maybe not. 10-second clap up. Soldic on his bike. He's in complete reverse gear here. Not enough time for Pietrzak, but what an outing. Goes for the takedown and there's the goal! Oh my goodness! You have to big it up to the Polish.